Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media Update. All right, so Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark are two phenomenal athletes in their own right. Stephanie White played with the Indiana Fever, coached the Indiana Fever, was assistant with the Indiana Fever. She also played at Purdue and went to the national championship. I believe she won a national championship with Purdue. Caitlin Clark, generation talent, went to 2 Final Fours, went to 2 played at the University of Iowa. Now she's in the WNBA. But I'm here to illustrate why these two are a perfect match, a match made in heaven. Not only because they both play the position of point guard, but they also have a very high IQ when it comes to the game of basketball. When you are talking about a player that's a generation talent that has an IQ that needs a coach with a high IQ level to match that, to match together, to bring beauty on the court. That's why you saw Phil Jackson was successful with Michael Jordan. That's why you seen Phil Jackson was successful with Kobe Bryant. Now, I can't add that to LeBron because to me, I don't think LeBron really respected any coach that he was under. The only one he respected is Greg Popovich, and he never been coached by Greg Popovich. But you seen in the NFL with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Shanahan and John Elway. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. You have to have a great coach to be able to match the level of talent that you have, especially when you have a star talent like Caitlin Clark is herself. You look at other players in the WNBA, yeah, you got Cheryl Reeves over there. I could say Nafisha Carter is probably like that, but Cheryl Reeves, her intensity. You look at Becky Hammond. I don't see none of her. I don't see none of her players match her intensity. They try to, but maybe Kelsey Plum, if she gets out from under that shadow. But anyway, I don't think that if you watch the Indiana Fever this year from start to finish, and I'll say start to finish, not just catching the game here and there. I mean, almost watching like every game. You could tell Caitlin Clark IQ is so high that it took her teammates time to catch up. Even Kelsey Mitchell alluded to this. She alluded to why she had to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to match that. And that, when Kelsey Mitchell caught up with Caitlin Clark, guess what? That slowed Kelsey Mitchell game down. She was able to marry her game with Caitlin. And you saw in the second half how much success they had. There was the best backcourt in the W. They was the best scoring duo in the W. So, but the one factor to that is the coach. Chrissy Sides never ever, and I say this a lot, and I go back and continue to say this. Chrissy Sides never appreciate Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark just tolerated Chrissy Sides. The two was never ever going to coexist with this franchise. one had to go, and you knew that was not Caitlin Clark. So eventually, Chrissy Sides would have to leave either this year, next year, whenever the case might be, because they was never on the same page. They just showed tolerance for each other. Chrissy Sides wanted to do it her way. She wanted Caitlin to bend, and Caitlin wasn't willing to bend, because when you have a player like Caitlin Clark who is also like a coach in her own right, she was coached under her great college coach, Lisa Bluer, who knew how to reel Caitlin in, and she knew how to let Caitlin loose. And that's why you had that mutual respect. And that's why I say that Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark is going to be the Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan of the WNBA. I pull up a footage I shared on X last night because there was a lot of conversation about, because they were showing statistical stats about, Caitlin, Stephanie White and Chrissy Sides. They had met in the Final Four, which Stephanie White bested her. Now, I posted a clip. I did pull up a short and posted on my short page on YouTube. So you could always go back and check that out and see what I'm talking about. Even Lindon was there at that time because she was a coach at Purdue at one time. So, but nevertheless, Stephanie White knows Caitlin Clark. She knows Caitlin Clark's game. She has watched Caitlin Clark for a distance. And like I said, she been a huge fan of Caitlin Clark. Despite what you think of Stephanie White, her time with the Connecticut Sun and the incidents with Alyssa Thomas and Dejanay Carrington, that's not who Stephanie White is. And that's why I'm going to continue to highlight Stephanie White in a positive manner instead of a negative manner, and show y'all the reason why Stephanie White respects Caitlin Clark so much. And this is why I feel like Stephanie White wants to come back to Indiana to be able to coach a talent like that. You put these two together, you're going to see things that you probably never seen before, because you looking through the eyes of your player and your player looking through the eyes of the coach, because y'all are the same height. I think Caitlin's a little taller than Stephanie White, but yeah, I think she is a little taller. And I'm gonna show you a photo real quick of how these two kind of like this Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. And you see Caitlin Clark's a little bit taller than Stephanie White, but I think this was the first meeting when they first played Connecticut in the season. Caitlin Clark didn't acknowledge no other player from that team. Her and Stephanie White locked eyes. They went and talked to each other and had a great conversation. And just imagine what the conversation is. Stephanie White always had high praise for Caitlin Clark. Like I said, when Caitlin Clark broke the NCAA scoring record, she gave her a shout out, acknowledge something that she didn't have to do, but she did it. Stephanie White has these words, these great words to say to Caitlin Clark about her NBA career, who she's going to be, you know what I'm saying, where you think she's going, who you think she's going to be, and everything like that. They asked Stephanie White, who you think is the most NBA ready, and this is what she had to say right here.
Draftees, who is the most WNBA ready right now? To me, I think it's Caitlin Clark. I think it's Caitlin Clark, not just because she can score the basketball really at all three levels, but she got stronger. She's gotten better every year. She put on 6 pounds of muscle from a season ago. I mean, she can get to the rim. She can finish. She can also facilitate. A year ago, she led the nation in scoring and assists. The only other player to do that is Trae Young on the men's side. and she reads the game. She plays in a lot of two-man game at Iowa in that system. There's a lot of readers.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Mark here.
So you heard that. And that's what Stephanie White was called. You know, she was an analyst on the sideline before she got back into coaching with Connecticut. And that goes to show you what she thinks of Caitlin game. Now, I'm going to play another clip for y'all, too, because I want y'all to listen to what she had to say about Caitlin, you know, coming into the W.
Let's go, Fever athlete, 1, 2, 3.
No, that's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. But nevertheless, I think Caitlin Clark is going to bring the best out of Stephanie White. And I think Stephanie White is going to bring the very best out of Caitlin Clark. Here's what Stephanie White had to say. She was calling one of the Caitlin Clark's Big Ten games.
Well, look, and the way that you make it hard on her, and she's seen it all year long, is physicality. It's closing up the gap. You cannot give her any space because she's going to make you pay. And Pam, look, all season long, it's like, who do we compare her to, right? Because we've never seen a women's basketball player like Caitlin Clark. And you know,
Did you hear what she said? We have never seen a women's basketball player like Caitlin Clark. Never, ever. So you could, despite all the long list of talent that has came in, Cheryl Swoops, Don Taurasi, Breonna Stewart, whoever the case might be, you never had a player like Caitlin Clark who could facilitate to break records, score to break records, all at the same time. You don't have that. The thing about it is that Stephanie White knows Caitlin's game. You heard what she highlighted in that clip. She's like, how to make it hard for her, be physical with her. But just like any person, you learn to adapt. You get stronger. Same thing with Jordan when he came into the league. He got beat up because he didn't have the body for it. But he made spectacular moves, plays. As each season went on, he was tired of taking a beating. And guess what he did? He bulked up. He got stronger. He stopped being the physical one. And guess what? When he got back physical, guess what happened? They couldn't deal with it. They didn't know how to handle it, especially along with his offensive game. That's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark in the second half of the season added more muscle. You seen that she was able to use her body a little bit more in the second half of the season to take some of them hits. You know, so what they had to do is just kind of like still knock her down. I believe Caitlin Clark will put on a little bit more muscle going into the next season. She's going to be able to take them blows a little bit better. If you watch in the second half of the season, she was giving it back. She was using her body, post up, backing down, being physical, throwing her body into it. She's learning the game, how the physicality is in there. Now, we could debate the physicality of the league, but you can see that Caitlin Clark is adapting. She's learning. She's giving it right back. And once she starts giving it right back, they're not going to be able to handle it. They can't handle it now. And then when you add Stephanie White to the mix, and that's when Stephanie White teaches her some certain things that she learned and seen, and she said, hey, Caitlin, this is what you need to do. I watched you from afar, you was doing this, but I need you to do this. I need you to really do this. And then she's going to teach her how to handle teams like the Vegas Aces, her ex-team, the Connecticut Sun, the Minnesota Lynx, the Seattle Storms, Because see, when Stephanie White implements that to her, that strategy to her, how to handle that physicality, guess what? The Indiana Fever is going to be unstoppable. They're going to be the ones giving the physicality out. They are the ones that are going to be running fast pace. Stephanie White knows what Caitlin likes. She knows what Caitlin wants to do. Stephanie White is play that way. She played that way in college. She coached that way when she was at Indiana. For those who keep saying that Stephanie White team is slow and they have court, no, that's not what Stephanie White coaches. As a coach, if you have a team that's slow and kind of up there in age, you don't want to run them like that. You can't run them like that. You have to pick and choose when the team needs to run, and you have to adapt to the players that you have. But once the Indiana Fever go into the offseason and add the pieces that they want to, they're going to be a really fast team. If you look at the team that Tamika Catching went to the national the WNBA championship, they was big and fast. And Stephanie White was a part of that. They was big and fast. And guess what? Kelly Crisscross was part of that also. So they know what this team needs to look like. And they're going to capitalize on Caitlin Clark talent. Leo Boston will not be the same Leo Boston of this year. As I have seen, Leo Boston has already slimmed down. She's already said it in her press conference on the last playoff game. She wants to run. She knows she has to run with Caitlin Clark. If she don't, they're not going to find no use for her. I can tell you that. This team is going to be a running physical team going into next year. Caitlin Clark's defensive tendencies that she had this year, and especially Chrissy Siles was supposed to be a defensive coach, Stephanie White's going to bring that better for her. Caitlin Clark's going to be a better defensive player under Stephanie White. She's not going to be just an offensive threat. She's going to be a defensive player. You saw some stuff that Caitlin Clark did, block shots, steals. But she's going to be able to shuffle her feet a little bit better, slide with the player. You know what I'm saying? I think Caitlin's going to be a little bit faster this year. Now, I want to play another clip of Stephanie White talking about Caitlin when she came into the league and all the scrutiny. Stephanie White's been a champion for Caitlin Clark throughout the league. She has not said one bad word about Caitlin Clark like others. She's been, like I say, she knows Caitlin Clark's game. Caitlin Clark is going to benefit having her. She's going to benefit having Caitlin Clark because when you got two high IQ players, like I stated, it's powerful. You're going to be unstoppable.
When I'm, looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlin Clark, it's like, guys, chill out. Like, she's going to be fine. Like, it's 2 games in. Are you kidding me? She's a student of the game. She got better every year. You're not going to just absorb all of the new information that's coming at you in 2 games, in 2 weeks. It takes time. And she will. I have no doubt about it. She's a student of the game. She continues to get better. And these are also points that coaches then address. Hey, let's continue to work on this. But it's really hard to work on some of those things in season. So this might be an off-season thing, right? Let's continue to play to our strengths. Let's find different ways to get the ball to our players. And then when we get time in the off-season, then we'll work on that next step or that next level.
Exactly. And this is where, like I said, for Caitlin Clark to take the next level into a sophomore season, you need a coach that highlights that understands that, and know how to get you to that next level. Chrissy Siles was never going to get Caitlin Clark to that next level. Let's be honest, folks. As much as people sitting here say, oh, well, she got them to the playoffs, but did she really got them to the playoffs? She coached them to the playoffs, and the players got them to the playoffs. But Chrissy Size was there to do a job. She did it. Now it's time to move on. People are, sitting back and saying, oh, well, they think Chrissy Size did a good job and all of this stuff. You got other podcasters from other teams talking about they think Chrissy Size did a good job. Because you know why? They want us to keep Chrissy Size because they team don't have a coach. So they want Stephanie White. That's all that it is. That's all that is. So my thing is this here is that, if you think Chrissy Size is such a coach, then let your team hire her. You'll be having the same issues that we have. So my thing is this. Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark are a perfect match. Like I said, a match made in heaven. It's going to be something. You got people out there already say, oh, well, Stephanie White is not going to get them a championship. Well, guess what? We just going to have to wait and see. Wait and see. Now, I want to show you a clip of Caitlin Clark, what she had to say about Stephanie White.
But I noticed that the first person that you greeted from the Connecticut team was actually head coach Stephanie White. What was that like to just be able to catch up with her in your pro debut?
Yeah, she's obviously called a lot of my games all throughout college, and I just think she has a really great basketball mind. I think she's done a great job calling college games. It's been great to see her on NBA games. I think what she's done is she's obviously, she's been a trailblazer, honestly. I think she's always been somebody that's been supportive of my game, and it's been fun to talk to her at shoot-arounds throughout my college career, and always been really supportive. And so I think the biggest thing is just it's fun to go against her now for my first time after her calling a lot of my games. Now I get to play against her, so I think that's going to be a lot of fun for the both of us.
And you see that. So when we sit here and say, or we spew narrative and say, oh, well, Stephanie White didn't do this. She did this to Caitlin. She allowed her players to do this to Caitlin. Stephanie White got nothing but the utmost respect for Caitlin Clark. And if you see, Caitlin Clark has the utmost respect for them. And we don't know what's been talked behind the scenes between her and Caitlin. We don't. And like you said, the first person, the reporter asked Caitlin, the first person that you greeted was Stephanie White, because there's respect. This lady has shown nothing but respect and admiration for Caitlin Clark through her college career until now she's in the W. So what makes you think that when these two is working together, that it's not going to be magical? So me personally, I feel like Stephanie White is going to help Caitlin Clark because she's been around, she's seen it, she knows what it takes. She's going to bring some of that professionalism. She wants to coach a person that wants to be coached. Caitlin wants to be coached. Yeah, can Caitlin be a handful? Yeah, that's any generational talent. Michael Jordan was a handful. Kobe Bryant was a handful. You know what I'm saying? But when you got high IQ talent like that, you have to match them with a high IQ coach. I know a lot of people say, was talking about Lisa Brewer. And like I said in my last video, I love Lisa Brewer. I don't have nothing but respect. But she's 63 years old. What you gonna get her for? 1 to 3 years? Then she's gonna leave. Then Caitlin has to get a third coach underneath her? Nah. You want somebody that's, like I said, Stephanie White's 47. She's going to be closer to home. She's going to be the perfect match. I don't want no Mike D'Antoni. You know what I'm saying? I don't want I love Cheryl Miller too, but she's up there. These coaches are up there. Because a person shows admiration and love for a person, that doesn't mean they are made to coach that person. Cheryl Miller has been out of coach for a long time. Even she admitted in the All-Star coaching, and she said, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. She was just out there having fun because she just loved it. She just wanted to Coach Caitlin to see how it would be like again. That doesn't mean she wants to come back and coaching. Lisa Brewer did the job she did at Iowa. She get to walk away. She sent her top prospect to the WNBA. Now she gets to watch her from afar to be excellent. And guess what? She'll be able to appreciate the Fever a little bit more because she knows Stephanie White as well. So she would love to see Caitlin match up with somebody that's going to respect her, not tear her down, not put her in a corner to shoot. I guarantee you, Caitlin Clark will take the last shot in these games next year. I guarantee you, Caitlin Clark won't be standing in the damn corner next year. I guarantee you see better pick and roll action next year. I guarantee you see better ball screens next year. I guarantee you'll see a little bit more movement next year out of this club. So let's not pretend that Caitlin is getting a bad coach, because she's not. She's getting one of the best. Hell, truth to be told, they already comparing Stephanie White to Cheryl Reeves, coaching-wise, not personality-wise. But they saying that she's the next Cheryl Reeves. Just imagine if the Indiana Fever gets Stephanie White and she stays there as long as Cheryl Reeves stayed with Minnesota and she brings championships. Hell, if she brings 2 to 3 championships to Indiana, that's success in its own right. Guess what? That means Caitlin Clark, Leo Boston, Kelsey Mitchell win 3 titles. So, what are we talking about? Just know, Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark, a perfect combination. So, leave the likes, comments below. Tell me what you think. I illustrated everything I could for y'all, but I do believe this team, this coach, this player, we about to see something special in the making. Till then, Live Wire Sports Media, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.